Hey guys, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. It's creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone and computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to do to make a podcast on in place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
So the Knicks are red hot. Who would have thought it? 10 out of 11 games won. Fucking awesome. Like, they used to be the laughing stock of the NBA. You know, it was like always next year and shit. See you next year. Next year, Knicks. Crazy shit. But with a new team and a new coach, and Tom Thibodeau, who is legendary, and like not on the status of Phil Jackson or Pat Riley, but this guy knows his stuff. This guy is a defensive guru, and that's what this team needs. They're currently, I believe, in 4th place now. So I'm anxious to see what this team is going to do. Even just competing is just great. Like, we're not expecting them to win a championship. I mean, it'd be freaking great. Like, this city will go crazy. Not to mention that, everybody, jumped on the bandwagon when the Nets moved to Brooklyn. Got Durant and Harden and Irving, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm gonna stick it out. I'm not gonna join the bandwagon. They will always be the New Jersey Nets to me. I don't care if they move to the Barclays Center in downtown Brooklyn. They will always be the backwash of New Jersey Nets. And yeah, for those people that know or don't know, there used to be a New York team back in the ABA. But I'm talking about these Nets, these Brooklyn Nets. Everybody's like on their dick, and I'm not with it. But Brooklyn's always been like that. Brooklyn's always think that they're better than anybody. And it's one of the dirtiest boroughs I've ever walked through. Maybe the Bronx. But anyway, Knicks are red hot. They looking good. Got the big dog Julius Randle, the veteran, holding it down. The all-star this year. Got the second-year man R.J. Barrett. And I said Barrett was a better pick from Zion. I like Zion. Zion's tough. But Knicks missed out on Zion. I think it was a blessing in disguise. Because the Knicks are in playoff contention. I don't think the Pelicans are, if you catch my drift. So anyway, got veterans like Taj Gibson. They brought back Derrick Rose. This team is just gelling. The rookies, Obi Toppin, and quickly. It's just like a cornucopia of point guards on this team, and they play defense, and they play hard, and they play every game to win. That's what New York is missing. That's the team that everybody grew up with. That New York team. They play hard every game for 48 minutes. That's what you're supposed to do. But I'm interested to see what these teams can do, man. Like, fuck yeah, man. I'm with it. hey, we're gonna have 2 playoff teams this year. Looks like it's gonna be nice to have a Nets-Knicks series. And even though there'll be long shots, I would love the Knicks to just beat their ass in 7 games, if it takes that much. It might, because they had the better team on paper in the Nets. But hey, you never know. In this short NBA season, you just never know. So, go New York, go New York, go.
Hello and good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. I'm outside right now. It's another day in America, New York City, that's where I'm at. It's been about a month since I did a podcast. A lot of things going on, a lot of issues. Things to be dealt with, things that are not being dealt with. Assholes revving up their bikes because they got little penises. It is what it is. Colonizers staring at me because I have a different skin color. It is what it is. But we're having fun, right? I don't have anything planned. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. This is going to be completely random, as it always is. But I think it'd be more random than usual because, I'm kind of in a mood. And, they say, venting is good for the soul, I guess. So, or is it praying or whatever that is. But, yeah, I think it's both. But I'm going to vent right now. And, for those who are listening, those are my fans. Appreciate y'all, all 2 of you. And, basically currently homeless in New York City, by choice, trying to find housing. It sucks and it's a pain in the ass. Not for the simple fact, the matter is that it's not like that the usual thing. I don't have a job, I don't have income, because that I do have that stuff. It's a simple fact that there's nothing affordable, and then nobody can't even get anything. And it's, they give you this housing voucher, nobody wants it. And I remember I said something on the last podcast about some asshole with a website, basically, saying how bad a voucher was and all this other crap and blah, 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 and all this other crap. Basically, making the situation, I think, worse, because the simple fact of the matter is that, it's not like nobody just said, I made up a voucher and be like, here, these people giving to people. And I know there's a lot of people in my situation that are stuck with this thing and can't use it. And this guy's website talking about people who didn't pay the rent after, or the city was paying late. Look, that's a few people. Like, it's a few bad apples. Like, everybody talks about good cops, bad cops. Even though I think that's horse shit. But, it goes for people, really. You're going to have a few dickheads. You're going to have people that are going to try to play the system and all that. But don't bunch everybody up with them. Especially those that are doing what they got to do. Because like I said, I know there's a lot of people out there that have the same issue I got. You got the money. Got the time. But ain't nobody trying to get nothing. Ain't nobody trying to, give people a chance, give people a shot. And then this fucking shit about guarantors, and they have to make this much income. Like, I saw something yesterday, and for a fucking room, a shoebox, they wanted 2 guarantors for it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is the scene in New York City right now. I understand covering your ass. I understand realtors and landlords covering their ass. More power to you. But there's got to be some common ground. You got to meet in the middle, which they won't, because, you know, it's all about money. And a lot of people left because of the virus, and, you know, maybe some people kept their apartments and everything. And, you know, maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't, but that's selfish as well. But no one gives a fuck about anybody but themselves until it affects themselves. That's why humans are the way they are. Stupid. So yeah, that's my mood. And, you know, not a religious man. I consider myself more spiritual. I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in God and His Son, Jesus Christ and all that. But I'm also a human being, and I'm tired. I'm annoyed. I'm pissed off. And I know a lot of people feel me too, because there's a lot of people in that situation as well. So, like, I'm with y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. I'm cheering for y'all. I hope y'all get what y'all get. Y'all need to get an apartment. You need to get a spot. You need to get a job. Whatever you going through, I'm rooting for you. And fuck everybody else. Sorry. It's just ridiculous, like, how people, you know, treat others because they're different. And this is not a race thing. This is just, you know, I guess a class issue, a personality issue, or whatever have you. And it's just ridiculous, honestly. You know, because, you know, I seriously think that's, you know, it's the rich versus the poor. It's not necessarily a black versus white thing. I think it's more of a class issue, especially here in the city, and more, and definitely in the States as well. You know, the United States. But you know, fucking sucks. The economy is getting better. Things are starting to open up again, and people are going to get stupid again. But, you know, people are hurting. People need help. And I know there's a primary coming up for the mayor, because de Blasio, this is his last term. And say what you want about him. You know, I don't necessarily like him, but I don't really have nothing bad to say about him either, because he's a politician at the end of the day. And they have their bosses as well, and they have to do what they're told. And, you know, he was all right for a little bit. Then the pandemic came, and then he, you know, kind of faltered like everybody else did. And, you know, now we're in this situation where, you know, you got a lot of people on the trains, a lot of homeless people on the trains. You have a lot of crime going up. You know, the police are still acting a damn fool. But looking at all of the candidates on both sides, Democrat and Republicans, there ain't a goddamn person in my mind that can fix this shit. And they can preach to the choir, they can sing your praises, they can make it look like they're the best thing since sliced bread, because they want that job. At the end of the day, they're not going to get half of what they say done anyway. And I think most likely they're all full of shit. And if it was up to me, I vote for none of the above. To be honest. That's what everybody should do. Don't vote for none of these fools. Don't vote for anybody. That reminds me of the classic movie with Richard Pryor, the Brewster's Millions. Very funny movie. Richard Pryor, John Candy, by the way, he was in that as well. Two late great comedians that were, well, Candy wasn't really a comedian, he was a comedic actor, but he was very hilarious, but you get the point. Where he basically had a distant relative uncle, and he was a white guy, and he left him all his money because he was a failed baseball player and he wouldn't do anything with his life. So he basically had to spend all this, find his way to spend money and, you know, do the right thing. And if he didn't do it in a certain time, like, he would lose all the money and the investors would get it or some shit like that. But check it out. Brewster's Millions is definitely on Netflix or Amazon or one of the shits. I'm pretty sure that classic movie. But the point is, he ran for mayor. But the thing was, he spent the money to basically say that nobody should vote for anybody. And his thing was, the big slogan was, vote for none of the above. And that's what New York City should do. Vote for none of the above. Nobody. None. Because at the end of the day, this shit ain't getting fixed anytime soon. Even if they do get in there, it's not gonna be a thing. They don't care. They're about themselves. They're about their agenda. And yes, they may do here their things, but quite honestly, as a person in my situation, I don't see nobody that's gonna help me but me. And you know, you got Ray McGuire, who is a Bloomberg person. So no, thank you. We don't need a fourth Bloomberg term. He was in his campaign. My friend Ryan had told me about that, because I don't really know about these people. I really don't know anything about anyone running or this stuff, because like I said, I got more important shit to do. I don't have time for it. But I would definitely not vote for no Ray McGuire, because we already know where he's coming from. Then you got Andrew Yang, who is, you know, he was in the president race and everything, and he seems like he's a legit, you know, person and whatnot, has a plan. But, you know, his record on police and accountability for the police is kind of sketchy, so I'm like, I don't know. Then you got Sean Donovan, who was in Obama's cabinet. He was I guess he's all right. I don't know. But, you know, like I said, the same thing with Yang. It's like he got an agenda as well. And I don't know where he stands on with the police accountability either. Diane Morales, I never heard of her. She's running some nonprofit or something like that. She's supposed to be a people's candidate. They all say that until it's like whatever. So it's like 100 people, and I'm not getting into it. I'm just naming people off the top of my head that I remember. Maya Wally, who is in or was with de Blasio's campaign or around his campaign or some shit like that, just off the name of de Blasio, being in that, you know, he's kind of being shoved out the door as soon as his term expires. I don't see her winning either. I don't see her even being in the top 3 or whatever, the Democratic primary or the primaries in June, the Democrat and the Republican, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't really see her doing anything. Then you got Curtis Leva, you know, the guy that runs the Guardian Angels. He's a piece of shit. He's always been a piece of shit. And him as mayor, please. I wouldn't trust him to run around the block, let alone the city. Some Matos guy, Fernando Matos, some Spanish dude, Spanish Republican. I don't know about him either. You know, he just got like a funny look to him. But the bottom line is that all these people suck. They suck by just nature of the beast that they're running a campaign and they're running for an office, and they're all just doing and saying what you like to hear, and that's it. And most of you are going to fall for it, and most of you are going to, get mad and anything. Like I said, the same thing with politicians, the same thing with any office. Biden. He's had his first 100 days. And it seems like he's doing a okay job. Hey, is anything better than that last piece of guy? He should not be named. Because we've heard enough of him. We already know. And he's talking back in the news and trying to rile people back up. And quite honestly, he should be locked up. He should be in jail for that riot on the 6th. But that's how the cause is. That's how this country is, and it's always been one-sided, and it will continue to be one-sided. And people that don't get that are full of shit. People that don't understand that are full of shit. And that's the issue. But you can't change these people, so you just have to take care of those and yours around you, and those who care and consider it for you. Well, you can't take care of nobody unless you take care of yourself, right? So that's how I see it. It's a racist fucking country. Anybody that doesn't understand that, it probably is a racist. And you know what? That's your fucking right. But don't come at me trying to put up on your agenda. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a white person to be racist. Anybody can be racist. Any person. It doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what gender they are. It doesn't matter what dildo color they like. It doesn't matter. But one thing for sure is that America should be spelled with 3 K's and not the C-A, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But that's pretty much it on the top of my head, but I could really think about. Oh yeah, we did have the big verdict in the George Floyd murder case. As everybody knows by now, Derek Chauvin was convicted on all counts. And I say it again, all counts. And I say it again, on all counts, because it was 3 counts. Guilty, guilty, guilty. But that is a small victory compared to all the people who have not even got justice, all the families that have lost loved ones, people of color, people or non-color, that haven't had it. But, mostly people of black and brown persuasions. And that's just what it is. It doesn't bring George back, but at least Derek Chauvin will no longer see the light of day. And he can try to appeal, and he can do whatever, all that stuff. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to jail. I was a little nervous. I figured, he'd get off like everybody else. But, the proof was there, and the proof was put in, and, he was going down regardless. So, yeah. Bottom line, that's what it is. And, it's so hard to be positive when all this bullshit is going on. You just had, I think literally when the trial was happening, Daunte Wright was killed by that stupid cop who mistaken her gun for a taser.
she's in jail. I mean, that's just fucking ignorant. Like, all these excuses, just for killing people and black people is just ridiculous. And, this is why cops need to be trained better, but it ain't gonna, that is the training. That's what they do. Shoot first, ask questions later, especially if you're black and brown. And you have a Toledo, 13-year-old kid with a gun. He didn't put it down, so why did they have to kill him? It's just really like annoying and fucked up how people who are on cops side. And I said, if you want to support police and if you want to defend them, that is your right. But just know that wrong is wrong, regardless of how anybody sees it. If the proof is right there and if the law is there, and even though that the law doesn't necessarily work for us all the time, but the simple fact of the matter is that this shit keeps happening and it's going to continue to happen because no one gives a fuck until it's time to give a fuck, until it happens to you, until it happens to somebody in your family. People need to be more cordial, more respectful, mindful, a community kind of thing, kind of like in the old days. But that probably will never happen because people are so fucking selfish and just so full of themselves. Like, that's the old saying. People are so full of shit that their eyes are brown. Yeah, stuff like that. But anyway, I hope those families get justice. Khia Bryant gets justice. She was a 16-year-old girl who was killed by the police, and she called the police because she was getting jumped. Like, you can't even call them. That's why black people don't call police. They call their cousins. She's dead, 16 years old. No life lived yet. She's gone. Like, when is it gonna end? When does it stop? I don't know. It's fucked up. This whole world is fucked up. Like, COVID-19 may be a deadly pandemic, but the most incurable, disgusting, vile virus in the world today is racism. And it will never be cured because it is profitable and it gets people talking on the news about money, and it's all about, and it's all it does. It's always in the news. As long as there's a reason, as always a person thinks that way, it's never going to change. As long as somebody's raised that way, it's never going to change. This is across the board. So, yeah.
That's true.
Bottom line is, shit won't change until it does. And I don't think it will. This is Aaron Smith, CANT LOSE. And I'm out.